I went to pick Gerrald up at 7:25 from the station, and the train turned up. He never, and then it turns out he'd chopped his finger off. I managed to ring Rui Da Silva, picked him up in Doncaster, and then belted it back and got him on the decks for about 1 o'clock, I think, in the morning. We were over the moon. Rui was over the moon. I thought, you know what? All this hard work, we've turned it round. Absolutely fantastic. And then the next day we woke up to like a whole world of shit.
I left Borough in 2012 because I was spending more time in Leeds, so I decided that I was going to live there. Leeds compared to Borough is night and day. The music scene in Leeds is healthy and there's enough punters to go around. What I noticed for the first time was the level of stress that the lads at Riffraff had to endure just to maintain a little piece of the action.
Everyone's phone's off. It's unreal.
It's alright, he'll be alright, he's turning up.
After Rui Da Silva saved the rave, myself and Dino decided to go home. I woke up at about 9 AM because Penno was repeatedly calling me.
Now, mate. Yeah, 2 seconds, let me put you on loudspeaker. It was a good night last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, we pulled it off, considering. Well, almost, mate. Almost. I've gone away from that, like, buzzing. We're all over the news, mate.
Who's
our
that?
mum rang us up this morning. I thought it was a line. 6 people have ended up in hospital after taking E.
You what?
Honestly, mate. Can't believe it. I was just, like, thinking how we pulled that off. And then that's happened. I'm not shitting you. I think they're alright. I think they took super strength ecstasy. Yeah, so I'm going to find out later on. I'm going to ring Stacey up, yeah. Anyway, mate, I'm going to have to go and sort this out.
Well, it's bittersweet, really. The way how everything worked out probably goes in sections, like chapters of a book. There was a first chapter, which was we were all really up for it. We thought we were going to have a mint party. Then the second chapter, where there was a crisis, where A Guy Called Gerrald wasn't coming. The third chapter, which was the resolution, where we went and got Rui Da Silva, and then like the happy ending, which was a really good party. We had plenty of people in. They were all really, really up for it. It was probably one of our better parties. But then there was like some sort of appendix on the end, where it was like a second car crash, which was a bit of a nightmare. Well, I had a bit of a sleep in on Sunday because I was working all weekend at the club, as well as doing the riffraff duties. I woke up quite late on a Sunday, and when I did, my inbox was inundated with just people saying, "Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this?" And basically, what happened was some tablets may or may not have been consumed in the club on the night, and these tablets, it's like super strength ecstasy tablets, which hospitalised 6 people, and it was a double whammy for me. It's not great press for anybody involved with anything that happened at the weekend, the club or the party. But like, I work at the club, I run the club, I'm the manager of the club, and I run the party as well. So it was a pretty bleak day after such a high of finishing the night and thinking, my God, we got through that. And not only did we get through that, it was potentially a better party than the party that we would have had in a parallel universe where A Guy Called Gerrald was careful when he was slicing ham. 3 weeks of hell just trying to fucking find out what had happened, and we never ever got to the bottom of it. We sat in this office with police, with licensing police. We had meetings with the council. We were running around in circles trying to find out, trying to get to the bottom of it. Basically, the outcome of it all was we needed to put stricter drugs policies on the door. We had to be seen to be more active, more proactive about it.
At this point, I was teaching myself the basics of editing and trying to figure out how to tell a story through the medium of documentary. I needed to attend more events and see what story unfolded. I had no idea what the story was, but I knew that if I kept on showing up, eventually the story would make itself known to me. I showed up the following month for an event with Dutch DJ Ferro, but all of the footage was lost. So I taught myself a valuable lesson about file management. Pharaoh then went on to become massive. Shortly after that was Darren Emerson, which ultimately cost Riffraff a fortune, even with a full club. In June, I dropped in for Powerplant Records owner Fleur before she shot off to play Watergate in Berlin. It was all kind of uneventful really, nothing out of the ordinary, but I did start to get clued up on Riffraff's booking policy. I didn't get the opportunity to spend much time with Graham Stewart. He was never there. Graham Stewart was referred to by the Riffraff guys as Gandalf the party wizard, who always has something up his sleeve. He was the booker at Zoo Project in Ibiza, and he fed Riffraff with info on who to book and why. Riffraff would book DJs, and then 6 months later they would be way out of Riffraff's price range, so they would capture them just as they broke. I was starting to get a deeper appreciation for what the Riffraff lads have actually done for the town in terms of bringing new talent and keeping the scene fresh and alive. We were getting, world-class DJs before anybody else. So this bigger picture started to form about, what the job of a promoter really is. Penno called me up to tell me that A Guy Called Gerrald had rescheduled, and he was going to be performing as a live duo with one of his star students, a guy called Lee Walker.
Hitting a mechanism, tapping into the city.
Penno was college. He was my college tutor when I was 18, and he absolutely hated me because I was a prick. I was, to be fair, an absolute prick.
Just chewy as, proper chewy. I try and compromise with the class. Just want to work through your break so you can all go home early. Really, because I wanted to go home early. But I was like, no, I want to get me sandwich. He always had to get a sandwich every day and ruin my day.
I came up from what round here is known as the rave scene, which was like 170, 180 BPM music that chavs listened to who nicked cars on a weekend. And that's where I came from. That was my beginnings. And that was the music that I was making. It's the music that I was, at least trying to make a career out of. And at the time, I just thought Penno was a doyle, to be honest, because he was always shooting down everything I said, but that's because I was an arrogant little dickhead. And now it's easy to reflect and look back at that, but like at the time, it was hard. We clashed heads a lot, but then in the end, he just kept on every now and then. He'd just slip a tune. He'd go, just like, when you go home, just bang this on the speakers, have a listen to this, whatever. Have a listen to it, and then slowly over time, it all just replaced everything I was doing without me even noticing that it was happening, and then I was just making house music at the end of it. There's one time in class, just turned round to Penno and I make house music now. I didn't even like house music a year ago. I was like, well, yeah, I knew what I was doing. And then we started Groove Syndicate. I started DJing at Riffraff more and more, and that's where me and Penno met. That's where we come from, and now we're just a pair of dickheads who do a live set.
And music is a way for some people to get on in life, and it's great to see them, because some of them, man, they come in and you know what borough's like. If they can't get on any course, they can't get an apprenticeship, and music's the last fucking gateway for them. If that doesn't work out for them, or if you shun them, you know what I mean, they end up in jail, half of them. You know that round here?
I grew up on a council estate, TS3, Park End. That's where I was born and bred, and it's not an easy place to break out of, considering I still live there. It's hard to make something of yourself when you're coming from these places, because your parents don't necessarily have the means to propel you up to the heights that they'd really like you to be at, and especially with the people that you're surrounded with at your own age, they're generally not good influences in places like that. Fucking Teesside, man. Growing up in Teesside, it's rougher than people think, and everybody's still happy despite them knowing it's shit. It's not the best place to live. It hasn't got the best job prospects. The house prices aren't really very high. You can't really sell property on for much. There's not much in the way of careers. It's not the greatest place to live, work, grow. But you still love it. It's about the people that are here, man. They are honestly the best people I've ever met.
Gerald? Hi, it's Lee. Are you on the train?
I am, yeah.
Yes! Just checking. Isaac, what time will you get in? I'll be there. I'll see you when you arrive, mate.
Cool.
Okay, see you soon. Take care.
Alright,
Alright, see you, bye. Yes!
We picked Gerald up from the train station and had a bit of a chat with him, and it turned out the way he cut his finger off was making a salad, so Sturzy wasn't too far off the mark. The night was amazing. What I really enjoyed was the crowd's reaction to this groove syndicate, the whole concept of teacher and student working together on a passion project. I just thought that was really cool. The perfect opportunity to bring this project to an end was Riffraff's 12th birthday. They'd booked Octave One and Evan Baggs. Now, I had a promoter friend called Donny Keys in Leeds who'd actually booked Octave One to play on the Friday at my favourite venue, District Bar in Leeds. And because Riffraff had booked them for the following day, I thought the best way for me to get an interview out with the lads would be to offer to give them a lift from Leeds to Middlesbrough. But when I picked them up, it was quite a frosty reception and quite an awkward car ride from Leeds to Middlesbrough because basically Riffraff had fucked up again.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we have a rolling booking with the Thistle Hotel, which we've had for 5 or 6 years, whatever it is. We just go in on Friday and we pay for the rooms and it's done, and they know that next month we want rooms again. Cool. It's been taken over and we didn't know. We went in to pay for the rooms and you don't have any rooms. Oh, brilliant. And it's Rugby World Cup weekend in the North East, so from the Scottish borders down to Harrogate, there's not a fucking single free hotel room. We booked an extra night in the hotel that we'd stayed in last night. We did it online, got the confirmation page, the code, got the email with the code, thank you for making your booking, da 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 da. The guys get downstairs and they've not actually taken the payment from the card. Apparently now this hotel chain won't take the payment instantly. You've got to be there with the card, and when you check it. In another circumstance might not have seemed such a big deal, but when we'd already had the embarrassment of the thing happening in the first hotel, it was just compounded to a point where I just wanted to pull my fucking jumper over my head.
Well, Riffraff, something didn't go wrong, and this time I think it was Graham's fault.
Was it Graham? Probably, yeah.
99 or 2009. Cause technology don't rule me. I just like music that's funky. I just like music that's funky. I just like music that's funky.
How many?
366 so far.
What's the capacity?
400. We make no money on this party. We lose money. We're at the front.
89, 99, 2009. Technology. 89, 99, 2009. Technology. You see, I just like music that's funky.
What the fuck's going on there?
You got a body gun?
Full body gun. Looks like yoga. I thought the story was over because, like, for me, Octave 1, Blackwater Live, that was a perfect happy ending for me, but it turns out there was something else bigger in store. Lee Walker had actually remixed a track which Marco Carola had played at the closing of Music On in Amnesia. Somebody filmed it and that video went viral.
Well, it was essentially just that Ben Clock video that everybody's seen of him playing at Dimensions Festival, which was the original of it. And I was just sat there watching the video, and it's a 3-minute long video, so obviously you expect something to come at the end of it. But because the build-up was so long, you're thinking, right, this is going to go off. It's going to be amazing. It's going to have an amazing drop at the end of it, and then it just cut. It was gone. It was disappointing. And I was talking to some friends about it. I was going, nah, I'm gonna, just having a laugh. I'm going to put a mint drop on it. I shoot up your door. You're not going to do that. So I did that, put a big massive drop on it, and it just went from there and just spiraled out of control.
Kicked off when he re-edited the original version, and Marco Carola dropped it at Amnesia late last summer. Someone filmed it, uploaded it on YouTube, and the internet went bonkers. Along with Marco, it's had big support from the likes of D-Tron, Dixon, Seth Troxler, Disclosure, the Martinez brothers, Loca Dice, and many more, including some bloke called Pete Tong. And it's had around 30,000 Shazams. Safe to say, this track is causing a bit of a stir, and it's this week's essential new tune.
You need a freak like me to make love to your body. You need a freak like me to make love to your body. You need a freak like me to make love to your body. You need a freak like me to make love to your body. You need a freak like me to make love to your body. You need a freak like me to make love to your body. You need a freak like me to make love to your body. You need a freak like me to make love to your body. Freak you right, freak you right. You need a freak like me to make love to your body. Freak you right, freak you right. You need a freak like me to make love to your body. Freak you right, freak you right. You need a freak like me to make love to your
If you had to choose like a club in London to DJ at, what is your favourite club?
Fabric. It'll be Fabric.
Fabric's actually reopening in January time. Are we hoping to see you in the lineup for that?
We'll see, I suppose. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to do. Really nice to do.
Fingers crossed, right? Yeah. So you have just won the best remix for Freak Like Me. What has that track done for you?
A lot. Like it's took me out of my bedroom, like 7 years of trouble and trial in my bedroom, working away on music, to actually finally getting out into clubs and getting picked up for things, which is what everybody aspires to do. You know, it's the best way to break out, is to have that one breakout track.
It is completely different to the sort of music that you're working on at the moment, right?
Yeah, it is massively different, but it was one of those things, like it was kind of a dairy joke at the time between me and my friend, where he challenged me to do something with a piece of audio, which is why it was so candid, which, you know.
But it's so popular though, it's so popular.
It's one of those things, like it just uploaded it to SoundCloud and straight away hit the download limit, and then the players were going up and going up and going up, and then Defected got in touch.
What was that feeling when you saw this all going? Did you think it was real? Was it a bit unbelievable for you?
It wasn't so much the track getting plays and downloads, it shocked me. It was when the Marco Corolla video went up and I woke up after a Solar Night, which is a party that I'm a resident for up near home. I woke up from a Solar Night, still half cut, and just looking at my phone with one eye, and somebody tagged me in the video, you know, saying is this the edit that you've just done of that? I was just like, yeah, it is, yeah.
Oh my god, that's crazy! So good. Oh, that's amazing. Christmas is coming up. Are you really busy around this period?
Really busy. It's a really busy period for parties and DJs. So I've got 2 on Boxing Day, which is one at Motion in Newcastle, which is Patrick Toppin's night. Then I've got one in Middlesbrough with Derek Carter for Riffraff, which is one of my favourite bands to play for in my hometown as well. And also on the 28th, I'm at Solar Night, which you just mentioned is the party I'm a resident for. And then at New Year's Eve, I'm back in London for Eastern Electrics.
I mean, it would have been nice to just cut it off there and just have a nice happy ending, but as Lee Walker was rising to fame and playing festivals and sort of living his dream, for the Riffraff boys, things were becoming a bit of a nightmare. More shit in part 3. Rising DJ fees make it impossible to maintain the party, so Riffraff changes its venue and its DJ policy.
What happened with Medicine Bar was we were putting on some big parties, and we had a string of events where the numbers weren't coming in anymore. I scouted about and I got all the local producers and DJs together to come together, and now what we do is we do a 12-hour rave, really.
We talked to the Don.
I mean, don't get me started really on the DJ fee thing. I mean, because it's like, wow, you know.
And Clubland takes a little holiday.
You must stay at home.
If you enjoyed this, please share it with your local promoters and party people.